Happy New Year. This is 2025. It's sort of a nice number. It's like a quarter, 20, 25 cents is a quarter. There's 4 quarters in a century. It's been a while since I made a video. Um, I don't know. The new year kind of seems like a good time. I stopped game development like 5 years ago. So I've been doing blockchain now for like 5 years. And it feels like it's too much and I'm sort of dying inside a little bit every day. I guess the main reason I made this video is because I've tried this before, but like this year I'm gonna get back. I am getting back into game development um in a very controlled and planned way, because I don't know, I feel just sort of like dead when I'm not doing creative stuff. I feel like I'm dead. And the issue is that my job takes so much of my brain that I can't. What I sort of noticed, it's like I work in blockchain. It's like a very, I don't know, mind intensive job where I have to think a lot. And so like I barely survive the week until Friday, and then I have to spend the whole weekend just like recovering so that I can start again on Monday. And I tried so many times like trying to do like a side project or like doing like videos or something. And actually last year I recorded like a 2 hour long video and I just never uploaded it because I ended up, I don't know, I just ended up changing my mind on wanting to say what I was saying. But it's basically just that like I don't have enough energy left to do creative stuff. But I've been doing my this job, not the same job, but I've been working in the same field and doing like stupid blockchain stuff for like 5 years. And I didn't even think I would survive that long. But like it just sort of feels like at the point where it's like I can't keep going without like expressing myself in some way or creating something. I tried to like because I've also been going to therapy, and that's been sort of helping me to like reconnect with my feelings and like I think like process some trauma that was sort of like blocking me creatively. So I started last year getting back into music. I don't know if people even know, but I used to um mostly in like high school and middle school. I was like very heavily involved in music. I played clarinet and saxophone, and I sort of realized last year that I could do music for fun. Um, so I've been taking music lessons for piano, guitar, and drums, which is a little bit overdoing it. But like every time I added an instrument, I don't know, I got excited. I was like, I need to do another one. And also the lessons are in Spanish because I live in Uruguay now, which is a country in South America near Argentina and Brazil. But anyway, so I started doing some creative stuff, which was basically taking music lessons, and it kind of like helped my brain like a little to be able to like do something kind of creative, but like I'm not actually creating something. I'm just like I'm just like playing a lot of music, like basically just practicing. I can almost play the full Final Fantasy X song to Xanarkin. I can almost play the entire thing. That's what I've been working on piano. But I wasn't really getting satisfaction. Another thing that I did like towards the end of the year was I got a coach. She speaks English, so that's helpful. And so she's been trying to like help me get back into the creative stuff, because the creative stuff is just it's what I um like I don't, I mean, I kind of like programming, but it's I don't like programming for the sake of programming. It's like the entire reason I learned programming was to make games, but then I was able to use that skill to like get a job and make a bunch and make money. And we're in a much better financial place. Like we paid off like all of our debts last year, and this year we're planning to buy a condo. So like we're doing much better financially. So like I can't, because we're planning to buy the condo, like I can't just quit the job. Like I I wish I could, you know. I'm sure everyone wishes wishes that they could just quit their job. But anyway, I don't know if I'm going like too long, but like this is like a real, probably like my main personal struggle for the last several years. Was just kind of figuring out how can I do something creative while I'm doing my job, and every time I tried, it didn't work out. Because I also had the idea of just doing videos, but then the issue is like I need to recover on the weekend. So if I would try to record a video on the weekend, then that wasn't time that I was recovering. And then like when I would start work on Monday, I would be too tired. So like what I'm trying to do, the coach is helping me to like be very organized about how I can do like a game on the side, a game um that I feel like very excited about, because also the project matters a lot. Like I've tried, like last year I tried writing um an RPG, and I was using AI to help me write it, but then I think I enjoyed it less because I was using AI, because I like to write comedy, and like I feel like the AI's jokes were so bad, and I was sort of like, I don't know, trying to use it for ideas, but I actually feel like it made me worse at writing, because I feel like it took away my ideas. Like I became too reliant on the AI that I like lost my ability to come up with like funny ideas. I sort of just like thought like really long and hard, like what do I really want to make, or like what do I really want to do? Like it doesn't even have to be a game. It could be anything. Like I said, I was almost gonna do videos, but I just had this like funny um idea for like one joke in a game, and like that single joke sort of like spawned uh like other jokes around it, like in the same theme. And then I was like, well, I really, I just want to see people's reactions to to this. And it's the sort of thing that can only be done in like an interactive medium, like a game. It's not something I could do through a video or something. And I have to be doing something unique, because if I don't get excited about making a game, if it's a game like someone else has already made, I just don't work that way. I mean, I can force myself, just like I can force myself to work, but I'm not going to be excited about it. It's like if I'm already forcing myself to work, then the creative thing I'm doing has to be like super like motivating and exciting. I have this idea for a joke that's just like a stupid. I don't know. It's not stupid, but it's just a very different kind of joke, and I just want to like see how people react to it, and that is like sort of sort of my entire like driving force. Not just seeing people react to it, but also just wanting it to exist. Um, it's sort of the same way I felt when I made Super Mario Crossover. Like I kind of just made it for myself. Like I just wanted it to exist, and I didn't know it was going to be popular or anything. I sort of had that same feeling with this. It's just sort of like a concept, like a type of game that I just want to exist. I mean, I don't know of every game that exists in the entire world, so there could be some games that are similar to it. Uh, the one that comes to mind is probably Undertale. It's probably the same type of, the same style of humor, the same like theme. generally. But yeah, so I have this project that I find it kind of exciting just because it's kind of weird. And for me, it's really only worth it to do something if it's different. If I don't know, I think with like Super Retro Squad, everything that happened with that. I mean, the game I really wanted to make was Super Mario Crossover, but like I couldn't because of legal issues. So then Super Retro Squad was like sort of a way to like try how can I make a game like Super Mario Crossover, and uh, you know, I've talked about that before, but I think the fact that that wasn't like a unique idea was also part of like why my motivation was never like as strong. And also I was dependent on that for money. My current situation, because I'm working a job, like I'm making money from a different thing. The cool thing about that is I can make like a weird ass game that I can just make it for myself. It doesn't need to have mainstream appeal or anything. And like the art can be really weird. Um, I'm gonna try to draw. I mean, I'm probably gonna draw the first version, but I'm not very good at drawing. So I'd probably at the end I'd probably hire an artist or something. But it gives me like freedom to just like do something really weird, and that part I find exciting. And when I think about when I think about going back to work, like I feel really like sad and depressed. But then I think like, well, I have this project that I'm gonna do on the side, and I have this coach that's gonna help me like make sure that I work on it. Like every week, we're gonna make a plan for like what am I gonna work on this week. And for me, like having another person like motivate me makes a huge difference. And I think not having that for so long, like when I used to just work when I originally worked with a team, but then I was working by myself. And when you're working by yourself, like you just really need, it just really helps to have an external force in addition to you motivating. Like I have my wife, um, but it's not like her job to motivate me, if that makes sense. Like a coach, it's like her role is just to help me to do this, and she has experience like planning things and helping people to do what they're passionate about. So I feel like because I have her and I have an idea that I'm pretty excited about, I think there's a much better chance than before that I will be able to like continue doing this project and maybe eventually finish it. There's no guarantees, of course. Um, and I have all of the lessons that I learned from like what went wrong with like Super Retro Squad, and I've had a lot of time to sort of like recover from the trauma because I what I really realized is that like the failure of that second project, to be blunt, like it really fucked me up mentally in like so many different ways, and just sort of like talking that through with a therapist in addition to other stuff in my personal life, but talking about that project. I've also had different therapists, and I've also talked about it with my coach. So like talking about what happened and getting so many different perspectives, and also sort of seeing how the world has changed since then. Um, I'm not really going to comment on politics, but it seems like this year, uh, it almost seems um, like the internet sort of came into real life, if that sort of makes sense. Like it's almost like before, at least the way I thought of it, is like the internet is like its own thing, and then you have real life. Because like when I go and talk to people in the real world, they sort of like talk like normal people, whereas on the internet, sometimes people are like super mean, or super like trolly, and they just want to make like ironic jokes and stuff. But I didn't really experience that in the real world. But I think the results of the election showed sort of the first time that all of the like YouTube influencers and all the internet stuff like really has an effect on people, and it's sort of like changing who people are, especially younger people whose minds aren't as like well, or not their minds, but their like identities aren't as well formed, are more like open to influence. And um I just sort of feel like it showed that the stuff that happens on the internet really affects real life as well, on like a large, and like now we saw it on like a large scale in a weird way, because the Kickstarter was in 2012, I think. And then I don't know, I started getting a lot of the bad reactions and harassment and stuff around 2014 or something. So it was like 10 years ago, and the world has like changed a lot since then. But all that I really see, like from my perspective, is like um, the stuff that happened to me was like less common back then. But now it's like really common to go online and receive a lot of hate, or just spaces like X/Twitter, like having, I don't know, a lot of negativity, harassment, and stuff like that. That stuff is more common now. So it's sort of like more people are talking about it, like more therapists and psychologists are like talking about it. So there's just more awareness about it, and it's like easier to get help if you've experienced that sort of thing. Whereas before it was like less common. So like I sort of just thought, well, this just means that I'm a bad person, that everything I did is bad, and I made a huge mistake and I just like ruined everyone's lives and stuff. I was looking at it in like a very exaggerated way. But now I see it's like that stuff happens more often now. It's more in the open. People discuss it more, like online harassment. There's a word I can't think of, where you develop like a, just by like watching someone's videos, you like develop a relationship with them. Can't think of the word right now. But it's like it's all like very human, and like it's sort of normal to feel a lot of the things I felt, whereas before I thought like, oh, I'm just dysfunctional, I just made a lot of mistakes, I'm just a bad person. So I've sort of made peace with that, and it's in a weird way, it's kind of bad, but like me seeing it happen like to other people, and to see it happen more often, just like uh the negativity spreading more, I think it's bad for the world, but it's helped me to kind of see that like what happened to me and with the Kickstarter and all that, it wasn't really an anomaly. It's just the way that people act when they're like in a group, and it's on the internet, so it's all anonymous, and it's just like it's just sort of what happens. I don't know, the way our brains work, the way humans are. So I just have a different perspective now, because I'm personally a bit more healthy and I'm understanding things in context more. I don't think I will be as like vulnerable to like online harassment or negative comments. I don't think I'm going to be taking them as personally now. Um, but also like currently, uh, I do like making videos. I really do. I'm serious. I actually love making videos, but it's too like mentally draining on me still. I can feel myself getting stressed out as I'm talking because when I make videos, I'm like sort of like making myself vulnerable, and then I get afraid, like, oh no, how are people going to react to me opening up and sharing this? Are they going to reject me and stuff like that? But I mean, I'm still making the video. But what I'm saying is like, because of my job, and because it does still take me like willpower to do videos. And like I said, I need the weekends to rest. I don't think I'm gonna be doing videos right now. I want to make my goal like really simple. Like my primary goal is, but I'm thinking I want to try to do 1 hour a day of work on the game Monday through Friday. So it's 5 hours a week because I still need the weekends to recover, and I don't want to add other stuff like I don't want to add other stuff like doing videos or like communicating with the public or doing social media. Like if I establish a routine and I'm able to maintain the work on the game for 5 hours a week, then maybe at that point, I could add another thing, like one thing at a time. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe I get more active on my Discord server, which I'm not really active at all. I think I made that other video. I don't know if it was like 2 years ago or something. But I've been living in Uruguay, more time now. I've met a lot more people. I'm a bit better at Spanish now. I've been taking Spanish classes for, I'd say, like off and on for like 2 years. Like I can understand most of what people say now, especially if it's a one-on-one conversation. Then I can understand pretty well. I can listen better than I can speak. Like I have much less confidence speaking. Like I can do stuff on my own now. Like I went to the bank to discuss like the mortgage for the condo, and I did that on my own. Which I would not have been able like I would not have been able to do even anything close to that like 2 years ago. And doing stuff like that boosts my confidence. I've been doing like a lot of music lessons in Spanish. I tried to make friends. I thought I had friends like a year ago, but then I don't know, they kind of just stopped responding to me. I mean, I wasn't like desperate to like, hey, why won't you hang out with me? But it is hard to have friends still because I can't, especially if it's like a group of friends, like I can't talk fast enough to like be funny or stuff. I tried to meet with like a few different game developers. Like I was trying to be friends with this like group that was making a game, and then they said, "Oh, okay, you can like come to our game dev meeting," but it was remote. So I was like listening to it remotely, and like remotely is way harder to understand than in person. So like whenever I do something in Spanish, I try to do it in person because when it's remote, it's just like I don't know, you have like connection issues, people's mics aren't always clear, and it's like I already have a hard time understanding, and then if you add stuff like that, it just makes it way harder. So I do want to try to, I don't know, make friends, but I still haven't really put a lot of effort like into specifically that. I think I'm still trying to get better at Spanish because that just makes everything easier. And yeah, I do have like Spanish class in addition to like my job. I'm doing personal training now, so I'm trying to take care of my health physically. One thing that has helped me physically a lot, I have a treadmill under my desk, so and it's a standing desk. So when I work, I'm like walking at the same time that I'm typing and stuff. That's probably the single best thing I did for myself last year. So I would highly recommend that. It helped me to lose weight too. I think I'm a little like less chubby, I think. I don't know. I don't know if you compare the video of last time if if my face was more puffy or something. I don't know. I feel like I'm just a human being in this world trying to survive and trying to get through every day, trying to get through the challenges every day, every week. I don't know, some weeks are easier than others. Um, Especially like when we have a bug at work or like something goes wrong. It's like everything in my life just gets so much worse if there's a bug like that we can't figure out. And then a lot of like the burnout and stuff, it comes from me. It's not really because of like my job. It's sort of like how I'm reacting to my job. And so I'm trying to like not get stressed out, like about things going wrong or if things could go wrong. I still get stressed out before I go into meetings because I'm the lead for my team. So like when I go into a meeting, I have to like know what's going on. I have to know what everybody's doing, and like I always get scared. Like, oh, are they gonna think I don't know what I'm doing? Are they gonna think that I'm like, I don't know, just that I'm a bad leader? I don't know, that I suck at my job. I have a lot of imposter syndrome with blockchain specifically because I still feel like I just like stumbled into it. I told the story the other video of like how I got into blockchain. It was just because I learned Rust to um, do game development, and then some random guy offered me a job, and I'm like, okay, and that was in blockchain, and then I just got more blockchain jobs after that, and now I'm in kind of like a high up position, and I sort of still feel like, why am I even working in blockchain? Like, I don't even care about blockchain. I try to do a good job at the job. I try to do what I'm supposed to do. But there's always this part of me that's like, why are you working in blockchain? You don't know anything about this stuff. You don't really care about it. Like, I just want to do creative stuff. But somehow I manage to stay in and to do what I need to do. But I just always have this part of me that's like, what if this week is the week where like they find out I don't know how to do it? And I know that's normal, that's imposter syndrome, but I think that's where a lot of my stress comes from. Just that I don't know why I'm in blockchain, but and then this video is gonna be public, so hopefully they don't watch it or whatever. But even if they do, I still do the job. I still learn what I need to learn to do the job, but it's not something I'm passionate about. So I don't know. I'm kind of like working with my coach, and this game is like, well, the game is like two things. It's part of it is just for fun because I need to satisfy this creative part of me that's been like dead for like 5 years, and I need to gradually revive it so that I can like start feeling like a human being again instead of just like a robot worker. And then the other like super secret hope, is that the game's successful and that I can like quit my job and do that. But that's the first priority is just do it for fun, make what I want to make something that I'm proud of, that is uniquely me. I know a lot of people won't even understand it, but that's how it was with my movies too. And I'm sorry, I still haven't uploaded most of them on YouTube, by the way. But like, the humor in my videos was always like it's not like mainstream. I don't know. It's sort of like a niche type of humor. But the interesting thing is that I kind of noticed that like on the internet, it seems like stuff that's weird is kind of more popular. So there is a chance that making like a weird game with like these I don't want to give away these jokes, but these types of jokes that I want to do. I don't know, maybe that's the type of content that can go viral, but it's not what I'm like focusing on. It's just like something that could happen, but I'm really just doing it because I think it's funny. It's like it's as simple as that. I thought of a joke when I was riding home on a bus, and I was like, that is like the funniest thing ever. And I was like, I need to create something that has that, and then I start creating other funny stuff around that thing. Yeah, I still don't really know what the whole project will look like. I don't know how big it is. I'm planning to I'm gonna use this game engine called Bevy that I'm obsessed with. Uh, they still don't have an editor. It is kind of not very smart of me to use Bevy, because they still don't have an editor. Like it would be a lot smarter for me to use Godot. But I don't want to do what's smart. I just want to do what I want to do, because if I focus too much on like being efficient or like I don't know, doing things the right way or the optimal way, then I get bored and like I'm gonna start to lose motivation because like I don't really I just like Bevy. I like the way it's designed and I think it's fun to write code with. And so I think my plan is like very basic. I think I'm sort of gonna write it. I think I'm gonna write like the initial version as kind of like a visual novel, and then I'm gonna like gradually put um, gameplay into like basically in between different scenes, and then so it'll eventually turn more into like a regular game. But for me, the funny part is just the story and the way you interact with it. It doesn't. I don't really care about fancy graphics or anything. It's more just about the experience, and I don't really need a lot of like fancy stuff to do like the jokes that I want to do. Um, but I don't know, depending on like how much fun I'm having or how I'm enjoying it. Um, Maybe I'll add more gameplay stuff, and I know it's gonna take it's gonna take a long time. So like as I'm working on all the basic stuff, Bevy's gonna keep advancing, and then I'll eventually get an editor. They're also pretty lacking on UI stuff, and the UI stuff is actually what I really need. So it's really not a great idea to use Bevy, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. And yeah, that's the theme with this project. It's just, I'm making it for myself. I want to have fun doing it. I guess that's it. It's just those two things. And I like to tell jokes. I like to kind of confuse people. Cause like when I would do movies, I don't know if I could think of a specific scene, but I like creating that feeling where people like they're not really sure how to interpret something. If I make a game, and again, it could be a very simple game, it can be anything, but it's like they don't know what the game is, and it's sort of it's sort of like my goal to for people to not know even all the way up until the end, like what are the rules of this game, like what can happen in this game, because for me the fun part is like surprising people, like when people they think one thing's going to happen and then like something else happens, or like they think the gameplay is like one way but then all of a sudden the game works a completely different way. And I don't know, for me that's like it's just fun to play around with that. People like playing the game and not knowing like is this like they don't know like is this like serious or is this a joke, like should they take this part seriously or should they not, and like I don't know, I really just like walking that line where it's just sort of like keeping you guessing, like what is this, what am I doing, what am I supposed to do, what does it want me, because usually when I play a game I'm always thinking like what does the game want me to do, because I'm always thinking in the back of my mind like what are the rules of this game, like whenever you have to make a decision in the game, like yeah I'm thinking about the story and I'm thinking about all that, but then in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I know the rules of this game. I know if I like if you're watching a show and you know that the heroes aren't going to die or something, it changes how you view it. But if you know that anything's possible, it's like a more intense experience because you're like, wait, they could just die at any time. So like if you're playing a game and you have to make a decision and you're thinking like, well, I know the characters aren't going to die, so I could just pick whatever I want. But then if you're thinking like, man, this decision could have big consequences. What if like this character I really like could die, or I could really hurt them or something? Then it just makes it a lot more fun and engaging. I want to try to create that. Maybe that means it's more short or more simple, but I don't know. that's the feeling, like the experience that I want to create. It'll probably be something like an RPG, but like I said, I'm just writing it as a visual novel first, and then I'll just sort of like mold it from there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure stuff out. I'm just another human in the world like you, just trying to get by, hoping for the best, not feeling too great on like globally how things are going. Still feeling very bad about AI, other things like climate change, and then general trends toward fascism are a little bit scary. But it's like, what can we do? We just keep living. We don't control what happens in the world around us. So all we can really do is kind of control ourselves, because I feel like I can't even really control myself fully, because I have all this like trauma and stuff that causes me to react in like really bad ways sometimes. Or yeah, I feel like I don't even have full control of myself, but I'm trying to be grateful for what I do have. Like I am grateful that I have a job, even though I don't want to work. Like I mean, I want to work on my own stuff, but I can't. I have to do this job. But at the same time, you know, it's good to have money coming in. I guess periodically I'll post videos. I'm really hoping that I can work on this project. I wouldn't expect any updates on the actual project. Like you won't see it or anything like that, because I'm probably just gonna use placeholder art initially anyway. So there won't be really anything to show. It's like I said, it's initially gonna be more like a visual novel, and then I'll probably add in stuff like walking and hang in there. Things are really like, I don't know, things are overwhelming for me. All the stuff that's happening just feels kind of overwhelming. Things have really changed so much. The way the internet has affected society is really, it's kind of like more darker and a bit worse than I expected. And again, it's not really looking like it's moving in a good direction. It kind of just might just keep getting worse. So I just feel like we just need to be people. We need to acknowledge the humanity of people around us. It's hard to do on the internet. And it's hard for me to do in person too, because I get scared of people. I think most people are afraid. Like they're afraid how people are going to reject them, or so everything's kind of hard. But what else are we going to do? We got to keep going. And for me to keep going, I have to do something creative. And I feel maybe I can do it this year. I hope if you're having a hard time, I hope you can find something that helps you get through it. I think that's it. I don't know if this was like a bit of a downer or anything. I used to just be funny all the time, but I don't know. It's hard to be funny when there's so many dark things happening, or just when there's, I don't know if dark is the right word, but just when there's so many changes happening and things are changing so rapidly, and we don't really know what the future holds. But I'm not depressed. It's just, I'm sort of like acknowledging that things are challenging, and I'm trying to do something that I hope is going to help. And if it doesn't work, I'll try something else. That's what I always do. But yeah, happy New Year. I wish you a good 2025. Um, I'll always be around, even if I'm not like, I mean, I'll always be like living, coexisting with you as another human on this planet. I'm sure there will be a point in the future where I'm again more active on YouTube and all that, but I don't know when it's going to be, or I don't know, but I'm sure I'll always be like periodically kind of posting stuff. But yeah, that's it. Again, have a good year. Thanks for watching. I'll see you around.